Paul, first of all, welcome back to Glentoran. I'm sure you're delighted to be back. Just give us your initial thoughts.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be back. It's obviously a club that I've grown up with, played for 17 years, supported them as a boy, and still keep a close eye on Glentoran even since I've been away. And it's nice to be back. It's nice to be part of the new setup.
And the new structure going forward is obviously going to be headed the first year by Ronnie as the manager, and you and Gary sort of understudy before the licences are finished with. What do you think then you'll learn from Ronnie as a manager working under him?
Well, Ronnie McFall's been there and done it, wore the t-shirt, and everyone's so much respect for him, what he's done in this league, and so there's no better man to come in and sort of learn underneath. And I think Glentoran owe him a great debt of gratitude for stepping in when they've needed him, and for myself and Gary to come in and work with him and Kieran, it's going to be really beneficial for the future. And
you mentioned about it being a Glentoran fan, and obviously having watched him over the years working with BBC and so on. What sort of role do you see yourself having at the club then going forward?
Yeah, well, obviously the first year, it's going to be, obviously Ronnie's still going to be involved, and Kieran, but going, we hope to learn as much as possible. We hope to get a real feel for the club and what needs to change, what needs to improve, and where we need to be. And in the future, I'll be here to assist Gary as best I possibly can, take up a coaching role. And there's been a mention of maybe getting involved with some of the youth teams as well, to find a pathway for some of the younger players coming through as well, because I was at this club as a young player, and I was lucky enough at the time that there was 4 or 5 of us broke through in the Glentoran first team, and it was a golden generation. And let's hope we can find those young players as well, because it's no secret the finances are no longer there, so hopefully we can find some good young players to mix in with the senior players as well.
And do you think it's a massive difference compared to when you broke into Glentoran team as a youngster? You were breaking into a team that had full of professionals and full of experienced players, where any young player breaking into the current Glentoran team, it's very much a young player breaking into a young team. What sort of things are you going to be looking from the younger players when they break into the team?
I think I think you're right. I think it's for younger players. It's all about timing, and getting them into the team at the right time. But you've got to have a good balance around the team and good professionals to help them along the way. I was very lucky when I broke into the Glentoran team to have players like John Devine and Chris Walker and Justin McBride's of this world. So the senior players need to have more of a role with the younger players, and that's something we need to create as well. And just creating that pathway, and hopefully you can find 1 or 2 key players amongst the youth setup at this club, because it is a thriving academy, and there's got to be some good players there that can benefit the club.
And you mentioned before that Glentoran needed to bring somebody in that has a DNA to the club. There's no better DNA than yourself and Gary coming in under Ronnie. Why do you think that was such an important thing?
I think obviously the fans have wanted that for a long time, and maybe just the timing hasn't been right for those people to get involved. This time, there's no secret, there's not a lot of managers out there at this moment in time, and Ronnie's been very good at stepping in. Gary Smith's been very brave to leave his job at the Welders, where he's comfortable and he's doing well, to come in and take on this challenge at Glentoran, because we've got to be honest, it's a massive challenge, and I've decided to come in and help Gary and help the club as much as I can as well. So it's a massive challenge, but it's one where we're going to give our very best and work very hard and try and get the club on the right path again.
And over the years as a player, you had a fantastic relationship with the Glentoran fans, and the Glentoran fans come out in their numbers and support the club, and as well as voice their opinion. What can Glentoran fans expect to see from the likes of yourself and Gary? What are you going to pass on to the players that they'll be proud to support the club?
Well, I think anybody who's watched us playing over the years, and the success we had, and the blood, sweat and tears we gave for the club, that's all we're asking. We're asking people to work hard and play for the shirt. And Gary and I were lucky to play in a golden time, and that probably football's moved on a little bit, society's moved on, but we'll be looking to install discipline, and hard work ethic, and we need people that want to be on this journey with us, and we want to step in the right direction going forward, and the fans need to get behind everything we're doing as well.
And players in this day and age kind of are a lot different to players when you were playing yourself. Do you see a change in the players' mentalities now compared to when you played?
I think there's a lot more distractions, where back when I started, football was the be all and the end all. maybe it isn't as much for some players now, but you know, it's up to us to identify the players that we want to be on this journey with us. There's got to be changes. You know, the results haven't been good enough the last few years, so there's got to be changes. We've got to get in this year, you know, look at what changes need to be made, and as I say, just work hard to try and, you know, get the right people involved with the right mentality to be on that journey what we want to be on, and that's getting the club on the right track again.